Welcome to Plans Are Booked, a podcast for every reader. I'm Molly Geller.
I'm Stephanie Blackburn.
And I'm Caitlin Madison. Drum roll, please. Episode 100. Hundo. We did it.
Cheers.
100 episodes in a little over, 2 years?
A little over
25.
2 years.
It took 25 months, I think, or something like that. 100 episodes. So in some ways, I'm like, we've done 50. And in other ways, I'm like, we've done 300. And
Totally.
there's like no in between. And I'm sure Steph feels closer to the 300 because she does all the editing and has to listen to these like a lot of times to make it right and make it sound beautiful. I tried to do the math on it. And I mean, that means that we've probably covered 400 books.
Oh, easily.
Right? So we've talked about 400 books because we usually, more than that, because at some episodes, if it's like a gift episode or an episode about, books that we like to cry to or something, then we're sharing more than one book. So like on the low end, we've covered 400 books because we always talk about what we're currently reading, and there's 3 of us. And then we either have one or more books that we like feature prominently in the episode. So you're looking at people that have talked about at least 400 books on the internet. That's us. We do that.
Not all good books, just to put it out there.
And that's okay. It's okay that they weren't all good books. I do want to give a special shout out because we're featuring author Stephanie Blackburn today. We are all wearing Jackson Hole merch.
Sure are. We sure are. We are rocking on our heads custom hats that we made at Midnight Lunch, which is in downtown Jackson, when Steph and I went in January 2025. It's an amazing store. If you get a chance to go there, you can choose your hat color. As you can see, we all have different hats. You can choose whatever decals you want to add. I have like this heart pin. I have a cowboy here. Steph has like a charm bracelet basically on hers alongside her horse. Yeah, Caitlin has like
Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and then I have like a Taylor Swift style mirror ball beaded shenanigans situation.
Yes, they're such fun mementos, and we all also are wearing Jackson shirts and sweaters today. Steph's rocking $1 Million Cowboy Bar. I am rocking, it's kind of hard to see, Jackson Drug. And Caitlin's got an awesome Tetons Jackson shirt going.
Repping the mountains.
Yeah, we're just in full theme attire today for Golden
Hour. Yeah, duh. I mean, we had to do it. And it's the 100th. And a couple months ago, I was trying to math the math, and I was like, I don't know, our 100th is going to be like around the end of the year, the beginning of the year. It could be our first episode of 2026. And by then, Steph will have published her book. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like the stars are aligning a little bit on this. And my bingo card for 2025, I did say I wanted to have our first author on the podcast, which I'm checking that off now. So I'm feeling... No. Connell.
Do you want me to just move my stuff?
I'm going to. You butthead.
Mimosa break.
You ruined my intro.
Ooh, now you can see sparkle.
Showing a little leg.
Showing a little leg up. Hello.
I just want to say that for our 100th, Steph is wearing sequin pants. And the last time I think I saw these sequin pants, I had a, was it pajamas? Did I have a competitive pajama party? Yeah, where you could like have the best.
These are not
something.
pajamas. Just to make
No,
it
I
clear.
know, but you wore them for that. So we're sequin panting. We're 100 episodes in. We're Jackson Hole themed. We are rocking and rolling. And instead of doing our traditional catch up, we decided we wanted to just like do a little year end, things that we were happy happened. Things that, I don't know, let's not bring the vibe down. Maybe just things that were happy. Our roses, no thorns. Does anybody want to go first?
Mine are thorns.
Then I guess go ahead. It's
Go
your
ahead.
show. Listen, it's your show today. So whatever you want.
I 2025 was the worst year of my life to date. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me. I have never been so physically exhausted, mentally exhausted, and just like not in a good headspace. But at the same time, I started working at a bookstore. I just think anyone watching needs to know I'm shaking because I'm playing tug with a dog right now in order to entertain him. I met really great people at the bookstore, and I'm really thankful for that job and those people and getting books for free before they even come out. But my mental health was probably at its worst this year. I'm glad to say goodbye to 2025. I thank you guys for being really good friends and not being like, Stephanie, you need to be medicated right now because you're not doing well. I'm looking forward to what 2026 brings. I hope that Golden Hour will reach people who enjoy that kind of story, and just hoping for better things than the year that I had, because it was a rough one.
Only up from here, as far as I can tell. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I look at it. And I think that a lot of people can commiserate with that because politically it was a really difficult year. And like economically, it was a really difficult year. And I think that a lot of people this holiday season were really like feeling the constraints of that. And so, upward and onward on that, I'm excited about 2026. For me, 2025 was like year of the dog. Like, I got a dog and that like really has taken over the whole that happened in July, so that was like the whole second half of the year for me. And I've been in my house for like a full year now and I feel really settled with that. Work has been status quo, like nothing, no big changes, nothing like horrible to complain about. If anything, it's a little boring and I can live with that. But yeah, really getting Connell was like last year my big thing was I found a house, and this year my big thing was I got a dog. And I have to say, like leading up to the holidays, I think I must have had the flu or something. I was really sick for like a week straight, and it was just like really nice having kind of a companion that wanted to like hang out and cuddle and was only moderately a nuisance like he's being right now. He's basically just trying to wreck everybody's computer cords. So, yeah, I would say it was kind of a slow and steady year. Got Connell, felt settled in all the places other than like things that are out of my control, which I tried really hard to not focus on. And then I think I read the most books I've ever read in my life, 78. I got 78 books done in 2025. So, um, I'm going to try and beat 80. I'm still going to make my goal, my age at the start of the year. So I will still try and read 40 books, but I think 80 is like my real goal. But yeah, cheers to 2026. I hope it's a lighter year for everybody.
Yeah, agreed. I will say 2025 was the first year of a full year of me working for myself, which was a steep learning curve. Everything from how to choose clients, how to pick rates, how to bill people, how to send invoices, how to get tax paperwork, all that glamorous stuff. It was also amazing to make my own schedule. I saw my family more in 2025 than any other adult year of my life that I can remember, visiting them in Miami, visiting them in Durham, them coming to Hull. It was just when I looked back at the whole year of travel, I saw them so much, which was a huge gift. There was just a lot of loss and hardship in our family this year, and it was so nice to have so much togetherness. I also read a ton this year. I kept my goal very low because I didn't know what my new work schedule would be. Last year I read 80 books. I set my goal at 60 for 2025, and I'm going to top out, I think, somewhere around 77, 78. So proud of myself for finding time to read amidst all of the other stuff. 2026, I'm ready to turn the page. I'm ready for a new year. I always feel very reflective at the end of any calendar year. And I've been thinking about what do I want from the new year? What things do I hope will be different? I'm hoping to do a lot more travel for myself, not just to visit my family. I'm hoping to go abroad, which was kind of challenging since COVID, to be honest. So I'm looking forward to more of that. And we'll see like what happens with the business, what happens with everything. I just feel like it's kind of a blank page where there's a lot of unknowns, which is pretty unusual for me, a control enthusiast. But I'm excited about it. I think it's fun to be like anything is possible, which is kind of my mindset for 2026.
Do you have any trips already planned?
I am going to go with my mom and my sister and my cousin Martha to Washington, D.C. and Alexandria for a girls' trip. That is the only thing on the calendar.
I'm going to Florida to see my parents in February. And then.
Is Connell going with you?
No. And then in April, I'm going to, I don't want to say London because I think we're going to do a bunch of England that I haven't seen before. And then the people that I usually stay with in England, who are like my family friends now, are coming here for the World Cup. And
Very cool.
In the time that I've known them, which is like about 10 years now, they've never come here. So I'm very excited. And John, one of them, was like, I was like, what do you want to do while you're here? You haven't been to the States in a long time. And he said, I want to eat lobster 10 different ways.
Wow.
So that's on the agenda. And then we're going to do just like some like funnily American stuff. Like they want to go to a casino and like play some sports bets and like do stuff that you can't really do in the UK. And like, I don't know, eat lobster 10 different ways and watch some soccer and hang out, probably go to a beach. So I'm looking forward to having people come here as well. I think that'll be really fun. So.
Okay, can we pause and take off the hats?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Sorry. Entangled.
Oh,
these pants are eventually just going to fall apart and someone's going to see my underwear and it's going to be a good time. No. Okay.
So for our 100th episode, we decided to have an author on the podcast, Stephanie Blackburn, and we are going to be discussing her fourth book. Fifth? Fourth.
Fifth.
Whoa,
wow.
Okay. Fifth book, Golden Hour, which Molly and I think our first read was like a year and a half ago, maybe.
It's been a while.
It would have been 2 years ago right now, actually.
Okay. And for people that don't know the process, Stephanie puts it on Google Docs in Drive, shares it with me, Molly, a couple of other people. We do a run through and we make comments.
We do a book brunch.
We do a book brunch. We write comments on it. Some are just grammatically like, hey, touch this up. Some are like, we're laughing out loud. Some are like, why did you do this? Like, you have to get them back together. You know what I mean? Some of it's like a little more like we're making demands.
Or like Molly being like, if this doesn't have a happy ending.
I was just going to say mine are usually like, if you don't fix this, we're done.
Well, it's funny because the people that I have suggested get this book to read, which is a wide variety of people, every single person like in the middle of the book was like, if this isn't a happy ending, I don't know if I can like look at Steph. And I'm like, well, I'm not saying anything. Like, it's her book. Like, she can do whatever she wants. And they're like, yeah, but we know you've read this like a while ago. And like, we know you know the ending. I'm like, do you really want me to tell you the end? Like, do you really want me to answer these things that you're asking me via text message? So we've had it in our hot little hands for a while. We're so glad it is out in the universe. It is so fun getting text messages from my mom, my college roommate's mom, my friend that lives in California who just had ACL surgery, shout out Tessa, and is like laid up reading books like you read about. It's just really fun. And then because these are people that know Steph through the pod pretty much, I like just forward all the messages to her. And like my friend Ellie is reading it and she's not a romance reader and she's like, well, are there more books that have dialogue like this that like maybe I would actually be interested in? And I'm like, I mean, the good ones, yeah, I can like point you in the direction. So I'm going to let Steph like actually intro the meat and bones of this book, but we're pleased as punch that people can get their hands on it now.
Let's see if I can actually do this because we know that I am not good at selling myself or my work. This is a story of haves and have-nots, which is, I think, like that's not necessarily a trope, but that's something that I love in books when that happens, because there's just so much that you can work with when people have nothing and other people have everything. It is a story about falling for someone on vacation when it's just supposed to be a one-time thing and you can't stop being with that person. It's about trying to figure out your place in a family that is not a healthy family and learning to maybe stand up for yourself when you never have before. It's about Wyoming. It's about Boston. It's about Nashville. It's about Texas. It's about realizing that your talent is something that's worth fighting for and dreaming about and pursuing that thing that you don't think you have the emotional space to try for, but you're going to give it a shot. And you get some legs up along the way, and that obviously helps. It's about really awesome grandmas. It's about siblings who don't know about personal space. Hello, me. Um, it is about falling in love and not calling it that thing, and then never being able to quite let it go because you didn't actually get to have the chance for it to like bloom, and years pass and it sits with you. I'm sure there are people who think about past loves and wonder what if. So yeah. Did I do an okay job introing it?
It's a great job.
I thought that was really good, actually. Like, if I hadn't already read it, I'd be like, what's that called again? Let me put it on my Goodreads. This book took me a little bit by surprise. I don't know if Molly felt that way, but the first time I read it, I was like, this is different. Like, I've read all your other books.
Do you mean different from my other stuff?
Yes. I've read all of your other books, and
everything
them.
that I've never published.
Yes, I've liked them, and there's been some screenplays that I've like really loved, and there's been things that I've really like pushed and elbowed and shoved and said, why aren't you putting this out in the universe? Let's put it on some weird Wattpad. I don't even know. Like, let's find a spot for it. You know what I mean? Like, let's get it out there. And with this book, I didn't need to do any of the nudging or the elbowing or the pushing, because you were like, this one's special and like, I'm going to do it.
I think that that's because I sat on it for so long. I first conceived of like the George and Caleb and just like a general opening back in 2018 when I was in Wyoming. And I thought about it for a long time. But at that point, you may remember I was very much into screenplays. I was like, just like churning out screenplays left and right. And at the time, it had a very different feel to it. And it wasn't necessarily a romance. It was only going to span the 1 week of vacation and end. And it wasn't going to be a happy ending where the characters get together at the end. It was sort of just like a self-discovery book. And then you and I read a series that I'm not going to name that had a really red flag male protagonist that I was like, ew, is this what romance books are like right now? Because we weren't really heavily reading romance at the time. And I thought, I don't want to write it if that's what people are into. Like, that's not what the kind of book I want to write. So I just kept thinking about it and not doing anything. And then when I was about to turn 40 and we were planning my big birthday in Wyoming, and I hadn't been there in years, and I was so excited. And I think the like planning of it and remembering past trips and how much I loved it there, I was like, I think I need to get back into this book. And so I decided I wasn't going to do the red flag male protagonist. I was going to do a really, I wouldn't say broken, but he's
in the words of Michelle Obama, he's becoming.
That's fair.
Yes. He's a work in progress.
He's a work in progress. And he also has a twin sister that hovers.
Oh, she does more than hover.
She does like, more than hover. I was being nice. But like she, you know, she really like keeps she manages an eye on him. And she, you know, and so I think that when the book starts, I think Caleb has not had a lot of opportunity to give things a try or
be his own person.
Be his own person and like not have somebody like be kind of the training wheels for him. You know what I mean? And I feel like the romance books that we like that have like a little more substance going on have these other side characters that aren't just there to like launch the sequel. You know what I mean? Like they're there because they are contributing or pulling apart the progress of one of the main characters. And it just flowed, and I just, like, I wanted to know what happened. I wanted, there's a lot of yearning, there's email exchanges, there's things where I'm like, "Oh my gosh, where is this gonna, like, go ho" like, I know that Steph's not gonna write a corny book, so, like, how is this actually going to work out? Because she's kind of, like, put herself in a couple corners here, and, like, I'm not sure how it's gonna get undone, or if it should get undone, or if that's what her goal is. Um, and this book just felt very different because a lot of your other books, you kind of like, you're like, all right, I know what a romance is. I know how the plot goes. I know, all the like minor characters that I need to have and this, that, and the other thing. And I just feel like because the setting packed such a punch that it like almost freed you up to do a lot more with the characters, and you like knew this place so well that it just, like, oozed out of you, and, like, even when you were doing the edits, like, you hate doing edits, like, you hate I mean, I do too. But you hate doing edits, and you were like, "Alright, I've got work to do," like, this was, like, a bright spot for you, and I was like, the fact that, like, she's not bitching and moaning about this editing right now and that she's just, like, getting it done says a lot about how she feels about this book and these characters, that she's willing to, like, literally marinate in them for years.
Well, you know what I was saying, not on an episode, but recently on our Instagram about heated rivalry and the high that has been giving all of us? This book, living in this book for a year, even in the edits, felt like getting to go through all those little mini moments of heated rivalry. It's the like obsessive happy feeling. Even in the sad moments between the characters, I was like, well, I'm in Wyoming, even if it's just in my head. So it was like a happy thing to go back and edit it, which I mean, let's be honest, like the Massachusetts setting books, that's not like a fun thing for me. I already live here. You know?
Totally. You need some escapism for sure.
Yeah.
I will say, also having read, I think, everything you've ever written, this book to me, it has such a deep sense of place, both in the Wyoming sections and in the Boston sections, that it grounds the entire thing. And I was actually talking to my mom about this a few days ago. Back in the 11th grade, I wrote this very persuasive, in my opinion, essay about the divine secrets of the Yaya sisterhood. And my whole thesis was that when an author writes what they know, the book is always stronger because it's coming from a real, truthful place. For me, this book, of all of your writing, was like the deepest truth about the things that you love, the places, the types of relationships, even like George and her grandma, Caleb and his twin sister. Like, you built dynamics that you either have and love or want and love. And it feels so real in a way that brings people in. And that's why I think people who don't normally read romance are finding themselves liking it, because it doesn't feel saccharine. It doesn't feel cheesy. It feels like, crap, this is what it's like to really have regrets about not saying the thing in the moment, or not making the right move, or not valuing yourself enough to take a leap. And I think people are relating to those truths that you put into this. And I think when you were editing and rewriting and working on the cover, all of the things, it was in service of those things that you know to be true. If you're trying to push something out into the world that's like a half truth, it doesn't feel as good or as authentic. This is 100% you, every page of this book.
I am just wondering, as an author, when you're going through and editing a book, how do you decide when you're done?
Oh, I would say I'm still not done. Like if I were to go back and look,
that's what I'm saying.
I think I just sometimes get to a point where I'm like, I could nitpick scenes forever and word choice. What's interesting is sometimes I'll be editing something and change it and realize that's how I worded it in the first draft. Like my brain is set on like a general idea, and sometimes the words might change a little bit, but they often come back to my original intention. I don't think I changed any. anything major, like plot wise, in the second draft of this. It was more, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a trigger warning OD that happens in this book, which I went through, especially because we've been reading so many books in the past year that have trigger warnings where like there never used to be trigger warnings. And I thought to myself, is this getting too heavy? And I thought about changing it because originally when I was writing this book, there was always going to be a major conflict with Caleb's dad. But when I first started writing it and Caleb was going to be like a little shit, it was that his father was about to go to jail for like fraud or insider trading. And it wasn't going to get as
Which
intense.
is what I thought was going to happen. Like when I was reading it the first time, I was like, oh, insider trading. Here we go.
Yeah. But I felt in the moment that was too like easy. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if we need to get into this, but you may remember that I found someone on the ground on my street OD'd.
Yep.
And I was in the middle of writing. I think I was in the middle of deciding what to do about his dad. And when that happened, which was traumatic to experience, I thought, okay, maybe I need to be a little bit more real about this. Like, not that like insider trading is like fluffy by any means, it's serious. But I wanted something a little bit grittier. I didn't want it to be soft. I didn't want to like go easy on the characters, which I think is why my favorite moments are when Caleb is miserable. There's something about him living in his unhappiness for such an extended period of time. And just, I mean, this could also be like the year I've had where it just becomes like your new normal and you don't even question how unhappy you are. I think I just want, I mean, if we hearken back to the days of Summer at 19, which is not a good book, I went easy. It was like fluffy and superficial, and I was learning how to write and learning how to build characters and conflict, but it never got serious and emotional. And I think over the past 20 years, I've realized like the books that hit me the hardest are the ones that are like really cutting. Like they go deep and they don't shy away from hard things. So, and I also
especially I feel like a lot of the books that we read, the things that the people are dealing with are preventing them from fully being in relationships. They either think they don't deserve it. They think that they're too messy. They're like, I need to get my shit together before I can be with this person. Or when this person sees the real me, they're not going to want to be with me or whatever it is. And a lot of times in those books, we're trying to figure out what the thing is. We're like, oh God, what's going to duff this up? Because you see it, you know it's coming, right? And with your book, it's like I wasn't anticipating that happening. And then all of a sudden there were like a couple punches and I was like, oh, okay. Like I thought that the major obstacle was going to be that they didn't live in the same place. Like I didn't anticipate there being follow-up obstacles, which is what makes the book good and like makes it churn and you want to read it.
Well, I think when I set out, it was just going to be the long distance. I had when we went on my birthday trip, which was Molly's first time in Wyoming, I brought a rough first draft and it was only the first like 75 pages. And I had only gotten up to when the vacation ends. So that's what I brought on vacation with us. And I knew where I was going, but I hadn't continued on. And I think being there in the setting just instilled in me like, if this is going to be putting everything behind me that I've written in the past, if this is going to be my new coming out onto the book stage, I don't want to go easy. I want it to be something that like sticks with people, you know?
You did it.
Can I read some of my favorite parts?
I knew you would, so I didn't bother marking up my book.
Okay.
Like when we've been watching our heated rivalry reels, I'm like, I didn't need to write anything down. I just bounced off of what everybody else said because you guys, we all like the same stuff.
Also, I'm nothing if not predictable, which means I will come with an outline. I'm going to show you this, those watching us on video. This is how many Post-its are in here. Mm-hmm. I told Steph that I was trying to hold back because I found myself wanting to put stickies on. so many pages that we simply wouldn't have time for, but I want people to get a sense, if you don't already own a copy, of what you could be enjoying. So in the very early pages, Caleb and his family have arrived to Wyoming for vacation. He's there with his mom, his dad, and his twin sister. And he says, "What do you think the chances are of finding an ice cream place around here?" Caleb asked moments later, stepping cautiously out the front door. He held up a hand to make Phil stay inside as he looked around. Then, deeming the driveway safe from ferocious beasts, he led the way to the rental car. "It's like you don't know me at all," Phil scoffed, sliding into the passenger seat and buckling her seatbelt. "I already yelped it. It's called Jackson Drug. We're splitting the loaded tots. I'm leaning towards the Huckleberry Shake, and you're paying." Okay, viewer,
you know, I wrote that
hello.
for you.
We love a sibling duo. We love Jackson Drug.
I'm wearing a Jackson Drug sweatshirt as we read this. I love the relationship between Caleb and Phil. She is one of my favorite characters in the book. I think that she serves as a sort of light to his, I don't want to say darkness, but like insular nature. Mm-hmm. And they're twins, so they, have a mind meld and they really know each other very well, but they also push each other in moments where it's needed. And in fact, later on, Phil is describing a breakup. Phil and Amelia had been together for 2 years. They met at a bookstore in the South End, both circling the suggested reads table. Amelia was inspecting the cover of The Fault in Our Stars, and Phil, obsessed with YA books, admitted she'd blazed through it in a weekend. She suggested stocking up on tissues if Amelia was going to purchase it. They'd exchanged numbers under the pretense of Amelia letting Phil know what she thought about the book, and then they'd continued on to a bar down the street, then later back to Phil's dorm room. They'd been together ever since. It was like, could this meet cute happen to me in real life? I would like to circle a table with a man and have him be like, "What do you think of this?" And then the rest continues.
Wouldn't that be nice? If I found a guy at a bookstore that wanted to talk about John Green and he wasn't gay, I'd fall over.
Okay. The next bit, I have to read this because it's my favorite page in the entire book. This is a moment between Caleb and George when they are imagining what might happen if they continue their relationship. So, listener, if you don't want to know this and it feels spoilery to you, the best page in the book, just seek ahead like 60 seconds, okay?
But keep in mind, it's only halfway, so it's not like giving away.
Not
anything.
even.
Not even.
It's just a dream. It's just a dream.
It's page 142 out of 400. So they're sitting together and they are talking about what their vows.
Pause. I'm like my battery's about to die and I didn't even realize it. Am I the drama?
Okay, so in this moment, Caleb and George are together and they're fantasizing about what it might be like if their relationship continues, and Caleb decides that they should give like mock vows to each other. So he says, "I, Caleb Theodore Browning Richards," he said again, this time loud enough to drown out her laughter, "promise to learn to cook for you so you'll never grow hungry." George still and watched her swallow like there was something stuck in her throat. "I promise to never be the cause of your tears, but if you do get hurt, I promise to be by your side through it all." He didn't ever want to make her cry. This was starting to feel serious, and he hadn't meant to do that, so he changed tactics. "I promise to never let a day go by without bestowing upon you a mind-blowing, earth-shattering orgasm, the stuff of legend." She started to interject, and he pinned her with a sharp look. "These are my vows, George. Wait until it's your turn." She shook her head, but the smile she gave him was all he could want in this moment. It gave him the room to continue. "I promise to support you on your path to becoming a celebrated musician. I will drive the tour bus and work the merch table, and I will always be your biggest fan." He watched her eyes go glassy. He kept steering down the serious path, and he hadn't meant to, but he couldn't seem to stop. "I promise to share in the scooping of the litter box." Wait, when do we get a cat?" she asked incredulously, sitting up. She untucked her legs and leaned towards him. "And a dog. If you would stop being so impatient and let me finish. I was going to say I will also share in walking of our dog because it will be an equal partnership." There, I've said it all. This page of this book, I was like, I can't think of a single straight man I know that could say anything that nice. Basically my reaction to that page. And that's why I like romance books, because you get the chance to see things that are maybe aspirational or
I was going to say unrealistic, but aspirational is a nicer way of putting it.
Yeah, aspirational. And also, I think it shows that even though Caleb is young, and even though he has no freaking idea how this thing could possibly continue, he wants her to know he thinks about her like that. And he thinks about what it would be like if they built a life together. And in fact, way later, someone that Caleb is spending time with is talking about how he is when he speaks of George. And she says, when you talk about her, there is your face. You've never looked at me like that. Not once the entire time we've been together. I didn't even know you could look like that. I was just like, okay, Stephanie, just murder me. Like, there is a hopefulness, I think, sometimes to the way that Caleb talks about what he thinks could happen or wants to happen, but he doesn't really know how to get there. And so much of the book is that journey for him and for George. How could they be together? How could they make it work? How do they not crush each other's dreams? It's a lot of self-discovery and, figuring out when should you just move forward on your own versus when should you wait for someone else or try to merge your timeline with theirs. I think that's also what keeps people so interested, is that this isn't a traditional like enemies to lovers, or like there isn't just like a trope arc going on here. It's much more nuanced than that, and I think is very honest about the way that people struggle to say what they mean and say what they want and need, and sometimes that keeps people apart for a really long time. And we get the privilege of following them for years and years and years and years in a way that I feel like some stories just end and you have to wonder what would have happened. This has such a long timeline that you get the chance to see the changes and the evolution and the apologies and I don't want to say more than that. It's very emotional and very honest. And even in the moments of the faux proposal, which I know are only going to speak to other people like me who want to be spoken to that way, it still feels very true to the moment, which I really loved.
We could gush about this book for days. We will probably gush about this book again soon. We loved this book, and not because it's you. If anything, that just added to it. And we're really proud of you. And we're really excited that you're like still chasing this dream. It's very inspiring to me personally, as somebody that was like a career changer, as somebody who was like, can I handle having a dog? As somebody who's like, I own a home. Does Steph know how to fix this? Like, you're just like a really inspiring person. And I think the fact that you like took a little time off from writing and then you're like, this really is my passion, I really do want to do this, is so cool. Everyone that I've told to get this book has loved it, even people that this isn't their thing. And on top of that, they keep saying like, why did you keep this a secret that Steph had like other books? And I'm like, I didn't keep it a secret. Where have you been? This isn't a secret at all. So I think that that should make you feel really proud of what you've accomplished here. And I'm really looking forward to like more people reading this book. I really encourage people to like maybe have it be their book club book, and like maybe you could have Steph stop by via Zoom or in person. I'm just saying. But yeah, cheers to you. Really well done. So glad this could be our 100th.
I also always comment on acknowledgments, so I will treat you like I treat every other author that has ever been on the pod. And we read many moons ago the acknowledgments at the back of Alyssa Sussman's book, in which she had a bit of a...
She inspired me.
Unhinged laundry list of things. And I'm just going to read the section of Steph's acknowledgments that mimic Alyssa's, which is called Just Anything That Deserves a Thank You. Okay, Stephanie's list includes honey lavender lattes, huckleberry barbecue sauce, the Caesar salad at Glorietta, Marcel's grizzly bears, national park rangers, ranch hands, trail horses, cowboys, even though there are none in this book, I love them, librarians, all caps, Ishindo ramen, McDonald's Sprite because it is just better and I don't understand why it is, but it is, tapered candles, bookstores, 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 my local faves, Belmont Books, Porter Square Books, Bougie Bookstore, Lovestruck Books, but also every indie romance-centric bookstore across the planet for creating pockets of happiness. So if you don't know,
you didn't cry that time.
Yeah, so I had a chance to rehearse this, so I didn't cry this time. Also, it took me 10 minutes to read the full acknowledgments the first time, so you guys are getting an abridged version. I chose not to read the parts that make me cry. I said on an earlier episode that the publishing of this book is our collective dream for you. And when I speak to people about it, that's how I talk about it, that we have had the gift of watching you on this journey from the beginning, reading the manuscripts, doing launch parties for previous books, trying to get them in the hands of influencers. This book, not to sound cliche, this book feels really different to me in every way. Your passion for it, your commitment to promoting it. For those who don't know Steph in real life, she really hates talking about herself, so this is a very big deal.
Makes me make it. I need a.
Are you sweating right now?
I'm not, but I'm sort of channeling Shane Hollander pinching his pants, and that's what I feel like it inside me is doing right now.
Okay.
We're almost done.
It's
You're
working.
doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Steph has gone in person to bookstores to talk about her book. She's reached out to Book Talk, Bookstagram influencers. This is like a level of self-promotion that I know you don't love, but you know that this book is special. And I think all three of us have felt that from the first Google Doc read. And it's so joyful to get to be part of this part of the journey where it's published and people can hold it. Every time you reshare a photo that somebody shared with you that their book arrived, they're selfieing with it, or they're holding it in front of their Christmas tree, or they're passing it on to a friend or a relative. It just makes me so happy because this is a thing that means so much to you. And now other people get to enjoy your work. And
hopefully enjoy,
even though this is gonna enjoy. Also, if anyone leaves less than a 5-star review on Goodreads, I will come for you personally, so be careful. It's just a gift to get to be part of this with you. I already said that, but that's how I feel. And we're so proud of you.
Yay. Cheers.
Thanks.
Cheers before we start talking about somebody else's books.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You can tell that I already had a lot to drink because I just splashed that all over myself.
Uh-oh.
Good thing we're near the end.
Okay, so I am currently reading a book that Steph told me to read 4 years ago. I don't even know. It's called Check and Mate. It's by our girl, Allie Hazelwood. It's YA. I guess it's YA. They're like 19-ish. And it's about a girl who was a chess prodigy and kind of like has a falling out with chess and ends up at this like charity chess tournament thing as a favor to a friend and has a showdown with this cocky guy who was the number one for a long time, and she kicks his ass and runs away. And that's literally like the first 30 pages of the book. And you know that they're going to like have an enemies to lovers situation, but she also has a very complicated family life. She has an ill mom. She has younger siblings to take care of, and she's kind of like George, honestly, where she like is not prioritizing her own needs or herself in any way. I'm looking forward to seeing how it unfolds because I absolutely love Allie Hazelwood, and I feel like anything nerdy and dorky, like whether that be science professors, Olympic swimmers, or chess players, like she just gets that people that are really super nerdy about one specific thing, like she knows how to write that. And so this is very enjoyable. And also I'm very impressed by people who can play chess really well, because when I play chess I get my butt kicked like immediately. So I'm really enjoying it.
Good, because that's my favorite of her books.
Holy moly, mine's deep so far, but this could be a front runner. I don't know.
I am also reading a book that Stephanie recommended. It's called Wait for Me by Amy Jo Burns. This book, I'm very early still, like maybe 50 pages in. This book reads very lyrically, which I always find so moving. It reminded me of Ocean Vuong on Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, and also a little bit of your book because there's song lyrics in here woven throughout. This is kind of a strange thing to say, but I hate the font of this book.
I don't think I even like noticed. Is it different than normal?
Yes, it's slanted in a way that makes me feel like I'm reading a magic eye. But because it's so good, I'm sticking with it because
Is
the
this
content.
an arc? Is this an arc?
Yes,
it is.
So then maybe the font will change.
I hope her publisher decides to ring it back up so that the rest of us don't have to have a seizure while reading it. But it's very, very good. And this is one of those, like, you know, we're in winter reading time, like under a blanket, cozy. I'm loving it. It's like very in that headspace. And even though I know a little bit from Steph about what direction it's going in, I feel excited to just kind of follow the journey myself.
Have you gotten to the time jump yet?
No.
Okay.
No. But I'm
because
really
that's when
loving
it just ramps up.
I'm really loving it. And it also, certain elements of the main character are also reminding me of Daisy Jones, which I love. Daisy Jones and the Six. Shout out Taylor Jenkins Reid. So we are going to do an episode on this book, which is why I'm not going to say more for now. But it's been great. I'm really excited to keep going.
I just finished a book that comes out January. I want to say January 6th, but I could be wrong. Is that a Tuesday? Books come out on Tuesdays. So it's called What Boys Learn by Andromeda Romano Lax. And I haven't read any of her books, but she's the author of The Deepest Lake, which you probably would recognize the cover. It's like very blues, but I think there's some like pinks throughout. Having come off of just recently read Karen Slaughter's We Are All Guilty Here, it's sort of in that vein. It is about a woman who is a like private school therapist, and two girls from the school have been found dead, and it is ruled suicide right off the bat. And so like the parents and like the board come to her and basically put her on leave because how could she not know that these two girls were struggling? And she's racking her brain like, I didn't see any signs of it. Like, how did I miss that? They seemed, you know, like normal high schoolers. And then as the days unfold, it turns out that her teenage son, who went to school with them, maybe knew them, and she didn't know that he knew them, and he maybe knew them intimately. So then he's brought in as a potential suspect within like the first 30 pages. And it reminded me of Jodi Picoult's book that we
Mad Honey
recently read, in that the scene where he's being interrogated, it's like you just want the kid to shut up because they don't know that like anything you say is going to be used against you. And he thinks he's just like, I'm just telling it honestly as it was. I'm not in trouble here. And it's that like parental panic of like, I don't know my child. What is he doing? I just want to protect him. And it unspools over time as the police are trying to figure out what actually happened. Maybe this wasn't suicide. Maybe there are other things at play. But she's also digging because parents just can't help themselves when their child is maybe involved. And it's about, her older brother is in prison and he did a bad thing. So you're learning the past of what that was. And does that mean that like genetically her son was predisposed to like have bad genes? Or, was she not doing the right things as a parent to like prevent him from becoming potentially like the perpetrator? It's really well written. It's high plot driven, very fast paced. And it didn't leave me in the way that Karen Slaughter's book did, where I was just like, men are gross. Young teenage girls need to be protected. This didn't go into the stuff that was in that book. So I felt a little bit better about reading it. It didn't like make me feel all cringy in the way that like that grittiness did in her book, which is not to say that was bad. It just, my brain did not do well with that stuff. I think it's going to do really well. So yeah, that's coming out shortly.
I can't
and
wait.
that's
I'm going to read all my gay hockey romances and then I'll do that one. Well, they all just arrived and the show's over, so I've got to do something.
Yeah,
most definitely. Listeners, if you want to follow along with all of the books that we mentioned today and all the ways you can support Stephanie, please join us on Instagram. We are at Plans Are Booked. You can write to us at plansarebooked@gmail.com. We are always grateful for reviews on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. If you listen to the show and you like what you hear, please smash that 5-star rating. We would appreciate it so much. It really helps people find the show.
And until next time, our plans are booked.